Okay, I'm home. Hi, how was your day? What the hell is this? Dishes, and I was gonna get to them. No, they'd be done if you cared about me. It doesn't mean that. And you seem upset. Why don't we talk about your day instead? So true. Thanks, babe. Codependency is not just an adaptation to trauma, but can also be a set of learned behaviors, meaning that if you experienced either one of your parents acting like a martyr all the time, doing all the work, saying yes to everyone at the expense of their own sanity, often expressing their emotions in volatile ways, or having difficulty setting boundaries with you or other family members, then you will have certainly learned these behaviors too, and if unaware of them, are most likely modeling them in your own life now. However, this doesn't have to be the case. Once you become self-aware of these tendencies and the conflicts they're creating for you, you should be motivated to educate yourself on how to undo these behaviors one at a time and set your intentions on being present for your relationships in your life in new ways so you can find that independence that you deserve. I'm sorry to bother you, but it's time to go. I'm so sorry, but is this seat taken? Oh, sorry, do you need in here? I'll get out of your way. Okay, no worries, but why do you keep saying you're sorry? I don't know, I just always feel like I'm in the way and I don't want to get yelled at or make people mad. And when you say it's okay, it makes me feel accepted and liked. Okay, but why do you want somebody who you think is going to yell at you to like you? Wow, never thought of it that way. Good point. Highly sensitive people tend to suffer most from over-apologizing and most likely grew up in an environment where the hostilities of others spiraled out of control and frightened them deeply. So, as a coping mechanism, took up the position of being the nice one of the family and hoped they could keep the peace between them and others by being meek and apologetic. But this becomes a real problem once it becomes a habit to say to others, since the mind literally starts to self-identify with the meaning of the word sorry, which is regretful, sorrowful, pitiful, poor, and wretched. Have sympathy for me. And I'm not being dramatic when I say putting the word sorry in front of the words I am over and over and over again will affect your self-confidence seriously. So I want you to try and start replacing I'm sorry with thank you as much as you can. Say thank you for being flexible, not I'm sorry I'm late. Thank you for moving over, not sorry I made you move. Thank you for your time, not sorry I took up so much time. Or maybe just excuse me and then thank you when talking to others. And finally, try to simply assert yourself without any disclaimers at all. Instead, use your tone of voice, eye contact, and facial expressions to connect with others in a kind way. That's powerful.
You're cleaning the counters again. Do we need to make another TikTok video?
No. If I can't clean the mess in your head, I clean the mess on the counter. Give me the dressing.
Which dressing?
The one in front of you, dipshit.
This one? What? This one? No.
Give me the dressing! Oh my God, Mom! Stop! Just give her the fucking dressing. You ruin everything with your shit attitude, Bobby. I worked too hard for this dinner. How to handle the dinner scene in 3 easy steps. Let's start with number 1, containment. Containment starts from within, so watch that video from last night if you haven't. And then containing the situation is much easier because in a non-threatening way, you can tell them to stop or pause. 2 is ask a question. One that's simple and that requires them to talk and respond and kind of snap out of their hysteria or their silliness. I asked Bobby, hey, what time is it? It's dinner time. Sally, are we using our manners? No, not really. Okay, why don't we try this again? And 3rd, we make sense of the situation for our kiddos by, in this case, teaching them empathy. Instead of using guilt to make them feel bad to act better, we explain to them what dinner is about and how it does take some time, and we would all like to have a nice time, so maybe they can put themselves into your shoes and understand why it's important to you. Codependent parenting is one of the most frustrating things to do on earth because we go into it blindly trained to constantly assume the needs of others as a way to feel some semblance of self-worth and control over the emotional reactions of others, like we did our parents. And where that might have worked in childhood, it is completely maladapted when we step into the role of being a parent ourselves. Because we were never allowed to understand ourselves or taught to how to express our feelings effectively, now we become startled, harsh, and overwhelmed by our kiddos' emotional needs and overtly frustrated with them when they don't do the same thing we did for our parents, which It's exactly how we ended up with this problem in the first place. So we're acting out our own parents' behaviors with our kids. This is how we pass it along to our children. So first and foremost, it is so important you get comfortable with your own feelings, good, bad, and indifferent, so you can stay in a centered place when your kiddos start to go south. Because ultimately, your children have all sorts of negative, aggressive, raw, emotional feeling experiences they need us to contain and help them make sense of in order to mature and grow. And no one can do that in a hostile environment. So start from within and utilize empathy. Think about what you needed as a child and give that to yourself and then to them. Hey babe, I need to talk to you.
I'm watching this.
Hey babe, I'm heading to the gym.
All right, don't forget to work on that fat ass.
Wow, I see you started without me. How's the chicken, babe?
Maybe next week my mom can come over and cook.
Wow. Hey babe, I need to talk. Yikes. Yes, that skit was very triggering for both me and my partner to do. However, it was an important clip to do in order to address something somebody had talked about with codependency and maltreatment. And a lot of times this kind of dialogue happens in a relationship and people don't know what to say or what to do. Or like this person is asking, they say, oh, you're being too sensitive, or I was just kidding, you need to have a thicker skin. So what I try to say to this is that absolutely, if somebody is born into a family that has a lot of, let's say, bullying, testosterone, a lot of ways of talking to each other that are pretty crass and uncaring, then absolutely, they're going to walk into their relationship and also be able to, or think they can, treat you in the same way. And they think in the home that that's fine, they're kidding, this is how they talk, you should get over it. Unfortunately, if you haven't been raised in that kind of environment, this kind of dialogue or interchange or sarcasm or jokes can really feel very bad. Or to be treated like a child or treated like a sibling. That all of those things can feel like an attack and feel incredibly bad on your self-esteem and probably provoke quite a bit of anger within you. So in each of these scenarios, this is how I would have addressed it. If somebody shushed me, like a father or something, I would say, maybe you could say better next time. I'm watching this right now. Can we talk after? Or any other thing where you're talking to me instead of shushing me. I'm not a child and you're not going to do that. We need to figure out a better way of having this interchange. I'm not going to be scared also to talk to you while you're watching TV. 2, on the idea of somebody saying some sort of crass comment about body size or anything as you're going to the gym. Talking to somebody about how you feel about your body and wanting reassurance and a pat on the back instead of some sort of ridiculous comment they used to tell their sister. Again, really important that you communicate how you feel and how you want to be treated in that scenario and make sure that that happens. And number 3, that one about mom-in-law, that was such a ridiculous comment, but I know that women are made to feel less than mom a lot of times. And I would have in that case said, well, maybe you should move back home or maybe you should cook tomorrow night. But I definitely would have said that these kind of comments don't make me feel good. And if you care about me, you're going to change the way you're talking to me. I don't care where you come from. I don't need a thicker skin. You need to learn how to be kind. I hope that made sense. Bye.
Honey, can you pick up the groceries on your way home?
Mom, can you drop us off and pick us up from the mall?
Hey, can you make your great cheesecake for our party on Saturday?
Can you fix my computer tomorrow? Your mother.
Before you hop on the Yes Express, listen to this. In my last skit, I acted out a pretty typical day for a codependent person that in all their roles, spouse, parent, adult, child, has become the go-to person to ask for things. Because guess what? She always says yes. And who wants to be told no? So it's incredibly easy to unconsciously train people to come to you for everything. However, feeling out of control and overwhelmed also comes just as easy. Problem is that this is how she was taught to think she had to be in a relationship in order to receive positive attention and love. Now, if she has to say no due to exhaustion, the pain of being rejected for taking time for herself and not putting them first comes rushing in. This is a childhood fear that is no longer relevant and needs to be deconstructed and replaced with the adult understanding that we are only one person who must set boundaries on how this fear is driving us, what others expect from us, as well as how to explain this kindly to anyone who gets offended. This message is just as much for the codependent parent as it is for those recognizing their codependent tendencies through my work. So listen closely for new insight. Codependency is not just about subbing out our own emotional control to other people, behaviors, or situations, but is a conflicted relational dynamic. A conflicted relational dynamic between you and your parents still playing out in your mind. It works like this. Not only do we develop an array of defenses against expressing negative emotions or acting in ways that would upset our parents as children, but we are also imprinted upon by their negative reactions to us when we didn't stay in alignment with their codependent expectations. So the work starts here. We must build awareness around the interplay between these two voices in our own minds throughout the day and learn to identify the hostile reactive voice as the parent or not me voice, so we can detach from it and replace it with words, our own words of self-respect and self-soothing acceptance. Then go back to our feelings and come up with new ways of expressing them to others instead of acting them out or remaining defended. You can do it.